indeed very ominous. This Death Knight, known as Gordoth, will ride out into the world. At least that's what we are planning on doing.
A hero. That's what you once were. You stood boldly against the shadow and purchased another dawn for the world with your life. But the evil you fought is not so easily banished. The victory you claimed, not so easily held. For now, the specter of death looms above the world yet again, and it has found new champions to bring about its final reign. Knights of darkness, wielding runes of death and destruction, bound by the will of the Lich King. This is the hour of their ascension. This is the hour of your dark rebirth.
Okay, let's quickly do something over here. Let's pull out some heirlooms. Oh, it gives me critical strike. Our enemies will be annihilated, they say. I kinda want haste. This. This. That. I look like a paladin almost. Okay, set up. And that set up.
Bow to your master.
All that I am, anger, cruelty, vengeance, I bestow upon you, my chosen knight. I have granted you immortality so that you may herald in a new, dark age for the Scourge. Gaze now upon the lands below us. The Scarlet Crusade scurries to undo my work, while Light's Hope stands defiantly against us, a blemish upon these plague lands. They must all be shown the price of their defiance. You will become my force of retribution. Where you tread, doom will follow. Go now and claim your destiny, Death Knight.
All that I am, must, cruelty, die. Vengeance I bestow upon you, my chosen knight. I have granted you immortality, so that you may herald in a new, dark age for the Scourge. Gaze now upon the lands below us. The Scarlet Crusade scurries to undo my work, while Light's Hope stands defiantly against us, a blemish upon these plague lands. They must all be shown the price of their defiance. You will become my force of retribution. Where you tread, doom will follow. Go now and claim your destiny, Death Knight.
Okay, so I'm not gonna need to do the voice.
I was kind of proud of the voice I did. I think I did a decent job. I'm unholy. Frost, blood. I think I want to be blood. So let's go with blood. Okay, let's see. Asphyxiate. Lifts the enemy target off the ground, crushing their throat with dark energy and so. Okay, Death Strike. Infuses power. This is gonna be, yeah, a finisher. Hide Strike. 1 wound, instant. Yeah, okay. Mado Ren. Instant. Smash the target, dealing 178 physical damage and generating 3 charges of potion. I think this is gonna be a 3. Death's Advance is movement speed is increased by 30% and I cannot be slowed below 100% round field. Okay, can't be wiggle waggled. Nice. I think I'm gonna put it here and we'll see what happens next. Why are you running? Instructor! Razuvius.
Yes.
You have heard the call of the Lich King, Death Knight. Now is the time to answer your master.
There's work to be done. We press on. We are done here.
He's gonna run away. The single most important piece of the being to a Death Knight is the Rune Blade. It is through the Rune Blade that the Death Knight commands the powers of Frost, Blood, and the Unholy. The Rune Blade also acts as a vessel to store the Death Knight's runic power. The time has come to create your first Rune Blade. Search the weapon racks on this floor and locate a battle-worn sword. Once found, take the sword to a nearby rune forge and use it to create a Rune Blade. Conveniently, there's one right over there. Dried blood coats the blade. I have a rune-bladed sword, emblazoned with frost, blood, and unholy runes.
Speak your peace.
The rune blade is an extension of your being, and Death Knight cannot battle without a rune blade. Well done, Gordoth. You have successfully created your first rune-bladed weapon. With it, you will souse the seeds of chaos and destruction. In your wake be a bloodied field of battle, littered with the corpses of all the world that would dare oppose the Scourge. Yeah, they're all worse. The mark of war is etched indelibly upon your soul, Death Knight. You have learned the dark art of rune forging, and with it, you will engrave runes of power upon your weaponry. Preparation for battle must be made. Return to one of the rune forges here in the heart of Archerus, and use the power of rune forging to emblazon your weapon with a rune of power. Return to me when your blade glows with dark energy.
Leave me be.
Rune of Razor Eyes. It fixes your weapon with a rune that causes 5% extra weapon damage as frost damage and increases enemies' vulnerability to your frost attacks by 3%, stacking up to 5 times. Okay. Rune of the Fallen Crusader. Affixes your rune weapon with a rune that has a chance to heal you for 6% and increase total strength by 15% for 15 seconds. Yes. Rune of Stone Skiing Gargle. Affixes your two-handed rune weapon with a rune that increases armor by 5% and all stats by 5%. Modifying your rune weapon requires... Alright, I think it's either this or that. I'll go with the Fallen Crusader. Yeah, it's blood. Remember those words, Death Knight. The Runeforge is a scourged instrument. It exists only in Acheris, Naxxramas, and the heart of Ice Cream. You may only emblazon your weaponry at a Runeforge. Return often and emblazon all of your weapons. A Death Knight must be prepared for all that would dare oppose him. The endless hunger will soon take hold of you, Death Knight. When it does, you will feel pain immeasurable. There is only one remedy for this suffering. The hunger must be sated. I give you the key to your salvation. Chained to the heart of Acheris are those deemed unworthy of the Dark Brotherhood. Use the key to free an unworthy initiate. Allow them to equip their gear in battle for their freedom. Kill and the pain will cease. Fail and suffer for eternity. Live or die. The choice is yours to make.
Ashes to ashes.
As a gnome, as a quark, as a gnome, as a quark, as an undead, as an orc. They're all gonna die, I guess. Let's go with an one truth in undead. Behold the finest of ironies. The living ascribe unto undeath all the most sickly attributes of their own lives. Hopeless servitude, savagery, stillness of the spirit. We serve. The living serve too. Well, they serve kings, warlords, druids, priests, gods, men and beasts. We serve only the mighty, unifying will of the Lich King, which compels us unto prosperity and unity. For all the endeavors of men, there exist only endless records of tragedy, cruelty, betrayal, and selfishness. For the Scourge, there is only efficiency and totality. Serve the Lich King in life, or serve him in death. His is a way of choice, whose roads lead only to fulfillment. Cold in flesh, but warmed by unity, the mighty Scourge are one nation, one mind, one being. True cold dwells in a heartless gaze of the gods who turn away sickly refugees from their neighboring country in a time of war. Are not all men of one kind? Nay, divided in their icy hearts. Raise high our ideals and bring low our foes. Fold their broken into our number until all serve the frozen throne. I was a soldier of the light once. Look at what I have become. To battle! That's that. Are there any more books for me to read? I like reading books. Oh, that's a scroll. Report from the front lines, Eastern Kingdoms. Death's Breach, Eastern Kingdoms. Instructor Razuvius spoke out earlier this week, reiterating his policy on mutiny and insubordination. Any Death Knight who dares desert the Scourge will meet a fate far worse than death. Their suffering shall see no end. I will see to it personally. Guide to the side effects of reanimation. Welcome to the Scourge. Now that you have entered your true service, you may find immense relief in your liberation from various mortal inconveniences. No bothersome sleeping to take up your time anymore, nor any great need for shelter from the elements. And you are even free from the mild irritation of cutting hair and nails. How delightful. However, there are a few, almost insignificant, details to being undead. Keep an eye on your rotting. Some is all very well to scare your foes, but an arm falling off mid-stab is just embarrassing. Learn to love your stench. Some say foul, we say raw. Avoid living animals, especially dogs. Heed your unintelligibility. Should you misplace your lower jaw, you may be reassigned to a position where your gurgling is not amiss. And few of those hold any prestige. Alcohol is simply not the same. My apologies. A blood broth a day keeps the living away, although adding bubbles is frowned upon. Avoid pastels. They simply do not work with our coloring. Those pants will no longer make you look fat. Interesting. So, I'm in a perpetual state of rotting, I guess. I could tell, I think. Kinda looks like I do already. Rot. A report from the front lines, Undercity. Undercity. Our sources inside the Undercity report that the Horde is mobilizing to stage an assault on Northrend. The Horde's troops, most of whom are returning from deployment in Outland, are now gathering and preparing to strike at Icecrown. Furthermore, covert agents report that the Forsaken's Royal Apothecary Society has ramped up activity lately. While nothing is confirmed at this point, rumors fly that the Society has had a breakthrough in their plague research. Again, this is only hearsay, but all forces are advised to give Forsaken alchemists a wide berth. That's all the books so far. Ah, there's another book over here. This is my Runeblade. This is my Runeblade. There are many like it, but this one is mine, by Lady Blumeau. Greetings, Death Knight. By now, Instructor Resuvius has likely begun teaching you the first lessons of what it means to be a Death Knight. Allow me to begin your instruction on what is perhaps the most guarded treasure in a Death Knight's possession, the Runeblade. Without your hand to guide it, your Runeblade is but a hollow shell. Separate, you are both broken entities, weak and powerless. Should you ever find yourself without possession of a Runeblade, know then that your only task should be the acquisition of another, with all due haste. As a Death Knight, it is through your Runeblade that your will shall be imposed on all who dare resist the Lich King. For just as you, young Death Knight, are the extension through which the Lich King imposes his will, so is your Runeblade the instrument that has been granted the honor in delivering this authority. Of this authority, understand these principles. United, your Runeblade becomes an extension of your very body, and your body belongs to the Lich King. As one, your Runeblade becomes your will manifest in physical form, and your will is that of the Lich King. Together, your Runeblade becomes the vein through which death itself is delivered to your soul, and your soul shall deliver the will of the Lich King. Through the course of your training, you may find yourself compelled to focus upon some of the different disciplines of study available to our kind. On this matter, I can only say this. All are worthy of study, and to neglect some at the cost of others is a foolish pride that I have seen cost other, less capable Death Knights in battle their lives. It is likely that some of you may soon find your Runeblade to be a particularly potent object through which to channel your own fury. However, this is not enough. Do not be content to believe that your Runeblade is simply a mere tool to focus one's meditation. No, it's far more than that. The most powerful of our kind have been able to command the power of their Runeblade with but a simple extension of their will. Together they fight, of singular mind, body, and purpose, to crush any foolish enough to stand in their way. Others may find that their blade responds most eagerly when infused with the power of an icy chill. In this way, even the sharpest of Runeblades will find themselves made even more potent. The same power that permeates our glorious citadel of Icecrown is yours to command, Death Knight. Should you choose to master this discipline, there shall be no escape for your enemies, as they find their actions slowed, made impossible by the cold. Still others may find their true calling in mastering the power of their blades to bring about disease and plague in crushing our enemies. This too is a specialty unique to our kind and worthy of pursuit. The mightiest of defenses may seem impregnable at first, yet for every defense therein lies the weakness that it is covering. It is simply a matter of uncovering it. Never forget, Death Knight, that it was not an army, but a plague that brought about the destruction of Lordaeron. Ooh, books. I like reading books. Oh, another one. The Death Knights of Archers. Name Jade. Status alive. uncommon, bloodthirsty. Sixen, alive, chatty. Munch, alive, destructive. Kobold, deceased. Fell to his death, not much upstairs. Probably saved him a lifetime of suffering. Harmony, deceased. The name of this death knight was found in violation of common scourge decency. Struck down by Lich King. Name, Melt, alive, with a little asterisk. Turned into a ghoul. Milton, alive. Rambles. Minitalis, alive. Sees things that do not exist. Gordoth, alive. Needs more cowbell. The book goes on for hundreds of pages. Look at the eye! Oh, it scanned me, and boop. Oh-ho! There are hundreds of Death Knights. There's a whole army. I want to find any more books if there are any books. Asher's Necromancer. Many new necromancers. Master Siegesmith Corvus. Bone plated. Don't think it looks that good. Very well. There's no... Ah, there is one. Grooming for ghouls. Being a manual on debridement and recycling. Bandages. Wounds that bleed more than thrice daily should be bandaged. When selecting a type of cloth for your bandages, go with your preference. Many ghouls prefer room cloth for its natural purple color, which blends to a sickly maroon when soaked with blood. One cannot ignore the supremely stylish yellowing properties of simple linen, however. Experimentation is best. Scabs and sores. A crusted, festering wound is a great fashion statement and really helps convey your changing mood. Don't let it overstay its welcome, though. A scab unpicked is an opportunity wasted. Insects. Oh, won't you just leave them be? They don't eat much, and their contributions to your pilot demeanor and overpowering stench are invaluable. If you should become colonized by bees or wasps, however, seek aid at the nearest slaughterhouse immediately. Missing limbs. Amidst the confusion of combat is the wrong time and place to replace a lost limb. Please make do with whatever you've got left. Your limbs will be replaced with the best match we can find as soon as an acolyte can get a look at you. In a pinch, borrow a limb from a colleague. Cannibalism. To avoid any further premature devourings of Scourge personnel, you may not eat anything until it has been dead on the ground for at least 5 seconds. The acolytes, bunks, do not count as on the ground. Any more books? I love books. No! I'm not joining your stupid guild. No. No. Thank you. Right? Oh, look at that. There's books. Touch of the Banshee, a zombie's guide to proper nutrition. Skorzad nervously peered around the corner of the column. As he had planned, he saw her floating there, alone in her chamber. Had he made the right decision, visiting the Banshee's private chamber so late at night? The necromancers would surely put him back into the ground if he was discovered. What's worse, he didn't even know if his feelings were requited, and Madame Sidnari was known for her short temper. What few doubts the zombie had were quickly tossed aside once he caught a full glimpse of her beauty. Her distinctly elven features, a reminder of her form in a past life, were now only enhanced by the oozing wounds and scabs that dotted her face. Purple, almost translucent skin was frugally covered by necrotic wrappings that hugged her waifish figure. Cold flesh, neatly fused with the ephemeral, as her legless torso sat upon a bluish sphere of energy, drifting a few inches above the cold granite floor. Skorzad allowed himself to relax a bit and wipe the sweat naked and dripped alternatingly from his prominent brow. Seemingly unaware of his presence, she glided to the only window in the room and looked out upon the battlefield. Desolation stretched out before her. Not 6 hours ago had the shrill cries of human children pierced the air, but now only the sweet silence of death. The wind caught her hair now, playfully flipping the worm-like tangles around her hollowed-out eye sockets. Skorzad, suddenly aware that he was leaning forward with lust, shrank back behind the column, terrified that the dark wailer might have seen him. She had indeed seen him, but he had no reason to fear. "Skorzad," she said, "I've been waiting for you. You fought well today." The banshee glanced coyly over her rotting right shoulder, allowing her wrappings to loosen ever so slightly. "It's time you collected your reward." The next few pages seemed to be stuck together. Thank Jesus. Zombie's Guide to Proper Nutrition. Brains. This goes on for 40 more pages. Compendium of Fallen Heroes. Tartek the Enraged, one of the most powerful abominations the Scourge has ever created, assembled by Lich Amenar, the Coldbringer, to assist in setting up a base at Razorfen Downs. Tartek single-handedly felled more than 1,200 Quillboar before finally being overcome. His sacrifice provided the corpses for Amenar to quickly raise an undead Quillboar army of his own, ultimately assembling the first major Scourge outpost on Kalimdor. Some of Tartek's remains were reanimated and used to create Glutton, Amenar's current lieutenant. Obrahim, the Traveler, brilliant architect, pivotal in the conception of Naxxramas, and mastermind behind the creation of Acheros, quickly rose up the ranks, from lowly Skelto peon to one of Kel'Thuzad's most trusted advisors. Always the scholar, Obrahim traveled around the world in search of knowledge, notably taking most of his early inspirations from the architecture of the Nerubians and the magic of the Orc warlocks. He was last seen several years ago, headed west to study the ruins of Zin Ashari in Kalimdor. Theodor the Damned, human necromancer, one of the first members of the Cult of the Damned, and decorated hero of the First War, successfully led a contingent of Scourge to victory during the First and Second Scimitarite assaults upon Scarlet Monastery, killed in action during the Third and final Scimitarite assault, which was successfully repelled by Scarlet Crusade operatives that had finally figured out his modus operandi. Kirkessen the Zealous, powerful Lich who reported directly to the Lich King himself. A decorated veteran of countless battles, Kirkessen designed and led the siege of the Sanguine, one of the largest organized assaults on Light's Hope Chapel. Despite overwhelming odds, his attack was quickly countered, and his forces suffered enormous damages. Kirkessen himself received a critical blow from Lord Maxwell Tyrosus, and is no longer able to assume a corporeal form. Oh, what a shame. They will find me and they will free me. Your pathetic cages will not last for long. Quartermaster, oh my god, books. Ozorg. He doesn't sell anything. Interesting. Report from the front lines, I've already read that. This book is unreadable, that's a shame.
Make it quick.
Sells Vanishing Pounder. Removes the glyph.
Suffer well.
Shame. This is Alchemist Karloff. This is Gangrenus. He sells edibles, I guess. Huge brown sacks, snake leather sacks. Attention, Geists. I warned a lot of you that the next campaign in which I spent more time cleaning my boots than kicking infants, heads would roll. Dung cleanup shifts are henceforth doubled in length and number for all geists. The Argent Dawn will fight until the end. Fester sells trade goods. Oh my god, so many books. So much to read. Is that also readable? It is readable. Nice. This is Corpulus. Sells stuff in general. Okay. Let's get to reading. On next Rams. I went to work within a war factory of the mighty Scourge today. Naxxramas bristles with activity. I was saddened to learn that they were using more foolish puzzle mechanisms to power mission-critical teleport devices, but otherwise it seemed to be a tight ship. My thoughts turned toward gainful research until I ran astray of the perverse Nerubian. The Nerubian's overtures are without number, always calling to me in that creepy droning voice of its. Invitations to study in his parlor I've taken to sequestering in myself in the broken pipe behind Gluth's chambers, as it's the only place he won't follow me. My mind is wearing thin. How does this lackadaisical cadre of misfits and rotting corpses intend to conquer all of Azeroth? Their self-defeating disingenuity falls short of any reasonable appearance of effort at self-preservation. I can make no effort to effect change with the detestable Nerubian hounding my footsteps and blackening my dreams. Though this may seem a trend in my recent ventures with employment in the Scourge, adventurers have broken into the necropolis and are killing my colleagues. Alas, even the hot redhead in Farlina's cult, slain before the creepy spider would let me talk with her. I hate this place. As soon as I turn undead, I'm so out of here. It is time to fight. On Skullman's. I have earned the chapter's favor at last, and been granted entry to the Skullman's. Today, my final ascent into glorious and death begins. The things within the Skullman's are far more rustic than I'd expected. Research materials are strewn in awkward piles, some sealed together with rocks stripped from the odd untended candle. Constructs, spirits, and demons roam the halls unattended. I must say that I expected more from such a practiced necromancers as these. Today, a troop of brigands broke into the school and began slashing their way through the crypts. As they cut down the study group in the foyer, the nearby students continued their practices, oblivious. The forces within that hall would overwhelm a small army, yet they yielded piecemeal. Fools! As I read with Darkmaster Gandling today, invaders broke through the viewing room doors and reached the crypts. The crazy sod hid behind a bookcase, giggling as he watched them slay each of the school's administrators within the crypts. Then he burst forth, shouting, "School is in session." Is he off his rocker? I'm recommending myself for transfer to Stratholme. On Stratholme. Today I became a Thursday necromancer within Stratholme. I rather wonder why no one puts out the fires, and I was mortified to learn of the nonsensical system of ziggurats linked to the slaughterhouse gates. If we need to keep people away from the slaughterhouse, why don't we just lock the gate? Forever? I'm beginning to learn why things are backwards around here. This arrogant sword on a rotten horse strolls by and proclaims himself Baron Rivendare of Stratholme. The man has clearly mistaken the Scourge for a petting zoo, as he spends half of every afternoon moving the disciples, minions, and constructs into small groups and stationing them around the city. After the completion of the Baron's tea time parade tonight, a party of, let's call them well-wishers, stomped through the city, knocking down the pins he had set up. Lock the gates, I urge him. The minions in control of my cigarettes will protect the slaughterhouse, boy, he assured me. I'm packing my crap and booking it out of the back gate. It looks like I made a clean break, judging by the smoke coming from the city. My flight was timely. A gainless venture, working in Stratholme, except that I stole the bastard's signet ring. A modest forgery bearing the Baron's seal should see me comfortably inside the walls of Naxxramas. On Undeath. After repeated failures at serving within the Scourge, I found that I held myself to much higher standards than even those within the upper echelons of the organization. Given the inherent inflexibility of social power structures, it is difficult to balance attempts to effect change with existent social challenges. It is fortunate then that this organization offers low-skill employment opportunities for disaffected individuals of those inconvenienced by some malady, such as, in my case, death. I have come to embrace one truth. The arrival of death is cold and unfulfilling, and gives no answers. I am freed of earthly obligation, but I feel no relief, for I feel no heart. I simply am. I may only hope to fall again before the blazing wrath of a noble and merciful heart in glorious battle. The necropolis has been called back to Icecrown. We have taken on supplies and personnel, and the city is alive once again. I am different. I feel whole. I feel alive. I feel his perfect will directing me. I know exactly where I will stand, and when the warriors come, I will test them. So that's how it works. Okay. There's no books over here, but there is one over here. Corpulus's mess hall rules. Oh. Okay, I think we shouldn't stand on the tables, eh? Corpulus, great cook of archers, who make good food for you. He proud to feed mighty scourge and make stronger. No make Corpulus mad, he no feed you. Rules. Death Knight eat first. Ghoul wait turn. No eat ghoul next to you. Need clean plate first. Okay, add own maggots and lice to food. Corpulus not offended. Got vermin? Bring to Corpulus. Okay, eat human and or elf. Elf other white meat. Mess part of meal. Corpulus see napkin. Corpulus hang head in shame. Okay, bring back food not rotten enough. Corpulus got 3 free armpits. Okay, eat with hands or swords. No eat hands or swords. Zombie need drive more food. Think outside the brains. No itself. Incredible. Okay, let's see. I've read everything. Oh! Splendid.
What?
As expected, my chosen knight has triumphed. You're ready, Gordoth. Behold, archers, the grand citadel of death. It has no equal in this world. Not even the mighty Naxxramas could withstand a direct assault from the Ebon Hold. Looming above the face of the necropolis is the all-seeing eye of archers. From it, the master is able to see great distances into the territories held by our enemies. What the eye sees, the Lich King sees, and now the time has come for you to peer through the eye. The Lich King has called for you, Gordoth. Go now. Suffer well, brother.
We will have our revenge.
I will suffer well indeed. I intended to make this little segment, this first half, 20 minutes long, but then there were books, many books, like, wow! Amounts of books. Are you AFK? Or are you writing your character? Okay.
All life must end.
Okay. I've been Gordoth Enodious. And farewell.